Hey folks, Dana here, back in my incredibly messy shop. I'm going to start on a two-piece cane today, and this is going to be the shank for it. It's a piece of maple, and you see all these little lumps and bumps on it. That's an indication that it's going to have some really interesting features in it. I don't know if it's actual Birdseye, but I did one like this a couple years ago, and it had some really interesting streaks and dark spots of color in it. But I'm going to take that down to a usable size using one of my two spoke shaves, a couple of antique spoke shaves here, and I'm going to try to put this on it for a handle. It's a yellow birch root I found exposed, and I think if I cut it off right about there, I should be able to get a pretty nice cardigan style handle out of it, which should have some really nice grain to it. So, well, as you peel a little bit off, you can already see some of the little spots coming through. That part I might take down with the file. It's a little bit too big to be smooth, but yeah, it'll take a while, but that should come up really nice. Now, in addition to getting all the lumps and bumps off, when using a spoke shave, you can do a little straightening on the way. Anything that curves that way, just shave off this outsider part, and it'll help to straighten it. This was actually a sucker that had grown up on a stump from a tree that had been cut, I don't know, 20 something years ago. And a lot of stumps will throw up suckers if they got the root system still intact. And it was, oh, I don't know, five or six usable suckers on it that I'll make shanks out of. And this is already looking like it's going to have quite a bit of interest in it. So I'll just keep peeling away. Occasionally you'll get a spot where the grain changes directions. So I'll probably take that down with the file a little bit, just to keep it from chipping out too bad. Well, after you've got it taken down with the spoke shave, another good rig to use is one of these little Stanley Shoreform microplane file. It'll get most of the remaining lumps and bumps off it. If you had a longer version, it would really smooth it out in good shape. And after that, it's everybody's favorite part, sanding. I got this same place I get most of my tools, actually, down at a little place called Liberty Tool Shop here in Maine, in the village of Liberty. Pretty much any kind of old antique tool you can think of, they've got it. So where I got my got both my spoke shaves and that rasp, that bit and brace, probably most of these little clamps, and so on. You got tons of stuff there. But anyways, like I say, next part, sanding. And like this, I thought it was like sandpaper to be stuck on a drum sander, but it turns out it's actually grip tape. like you'd put on cement steps to keep them from getting slippery in the wintertime. But it makes a really good sandpaper. Just kind of back and forth with it like a bow action. And that one's really aggressive, so I'll have to switch to a different grit afterwards. Take out the scratches from that one, but we'll just keep working it down, finer and finer grits, and it'll look good when I'm done. So after going through multiple grits of sandpaper and so on, that's about what she's going to look like, which is really nice. A few more little divots here and there, but that's what the whole shank will look like when it's done. Now you can see, as I sight along it, it's still got a bit of a curve to it, so I'll end up taking off a little out here and a little down there. That should straighten it out pretty good, but if I was really worried about it, I could heat it up with my hot air gun and bend it. But it's not too bad a curve, really. It'll give it a little interest. Now this part up at the top end of it, I haven't really bothered cleaning off terribly well, because that's where I'm going to carve a tenon. Basically, I'll take my saw, if I can find it. It's getting a little rusty on that side. And basically just saw down, probably measure about 3 inches down to here, and then go, well, I usually go to the depth of the saw teeth and then start and take it down with a rasp to that circumference. There's lots of different ways you can do it. There's a Scottish stick maker. Well, hasn't posted anything for a long time, so I'm not sure if he's still working on them or not. His method is to drill down in it with a hole saw to its depth, and then cut down to the hole it's made, and then usually where the drill in the center was, you'll put a large nail or a large screw or something. But this is the method I usually use, and it's worked fairly well so far. So, and if you're really careful, you'll end up exactly in line, which I'm not, but that's fine. I can fix that. Well, the shank's coming along pretty nice. Tenon looks good, or is looking better all the time, I should say. This I'll have to fix, but that's no problem. See how it kind of dives out a little bit towards but I can fix that either by trimming in here with a Dremel or a knife, or I think I'm going to put a spacer on it. I can kind of dish in the sides of the spacer a little bit, so that'll make it fit nice. But when I'm working on the tenon, what I usually do is kind of sight across it, and if it looks like right here, looks a lot lower there than it does there, so I'll take the rasp, peel that down a little bit until it looks like it's one flat plane. Even just the way the light hits it, you can see right here looks a little higher than it is right there. So it's just a matter of keep looking at it and peeling off a little here and there and look at it again. The shank's looking pretty good. It's basically what she's going to look like. Needs a little more sanding, but like I say, it's not entirely straight, but it's okay. More back to remove there. All these nice little streaks of color look really good when the finish hits it. So, well, keep on going. And when you're working on a stick with a peeled shank, it's going to take you a lot longer, obviously, partly because you have to peel it, and partly because if you don't take out every single little tool mark, I don't know if that's going to focus, when you put the finish on, it'll show up as a little dark line. That's why usually at some point in the process I'll take it inside with a pencil. There she goes, focusing a little better. You can see little tiny scratches here and there. That when the finish hits them, those will show up like crazy. Just depends on what kind of a look you're going for. Something more rustic, you wouldn't worry about it quite as much, but this one I'm hoping is going to look really sharp when I'm done, so I'll probably take the time. And you can see when the light's coming from there, you see all those little dark lines on there. Those are scratches which pretty much disappear when it's at a different angle, which is why I tend to go in the house and kind of sight it into a light to find any hidden scratches, and circle them with a pencil and bring them back out here to get rid of them. Well, look at the handle for a minute here. Now, this, like I say, is the yellow birch root that was exposed growing. That's where it attached to the tree there and grew something like that. And the shape of it is almost perfect for a crook. You could attach it here and it would go up around, and I'm sure there's enough meat there I could carve a nice looking nose on it there. The only problem is it doesn't really line up terribly well, because you kind of want the handle in line with the shank, and the head really kind of goes off to one side too much. So I think, say I'm going to go with a cardigan. Which means I'm going to cut it right there, and it'll come up, do a bend, and I'll take a little of that material out there, and should be some really amazing grain in it because of all the roots. So, but I think that's going to be for the next video. That'll be a part 2. This one's probably run me up to my time limit. So be sure to check it. Keep an eye out for part 2. Check it out when it comes out. I'll see you then.